Hey guys, it's Skylar. So I just wanted to make a video about my first endocrinologist visit. Um, so a lot of stuff happened in that one visit. I also tried to upload this video before and it didn't work, so we're gonna try this again. Um, so I went there all prepared. I brought my letter and my letter also, so my T letter and my letter to get my gender marker changed on my driver's license and passport, because there's two different forms for it. And I showed up. I filled out all my paperwork. I was there 20 minutes early on accident, but it worked out fine anyway because I only had to wait 10 minutes to see the doctor. And so I went in to go see her, and it was actually the nurse practitioner. I was expecting to see the doctor, the head doctor that I was told I would meet, but I saw the nurse practitioner. But it was fine because I thought she was really nice and she was really friendly. She made me feel very comfortable. So I sat down in her office with her and we talked about what I was hoping to get from this visit. I handed her my T letter and the other forms, and I explained that I've been out for quite a few years now, and this is just the next step in my transition, and this is just what I feel like is necessary for me to finally become who I've always felt like inside. Um, so she thought that I seemed well read on the subject. I already researched the effects of what testosterone does to your body and whatnot. So she was prepared to write me my prescription right then and there. But then she opened my letter. So she opened my letter, she read it, and then she looked a bit concerned and said, "I'll be back in 5 minutes." She left the room and came back 5 minutes later, and she said, "We have a problem." So I said, "Oh no, what seems to be the problem?" I thought I had everything figured out. And she said, "It looks like your therapist did not specifically say that you are psychologically ready to begin hormones." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "It needs to say that you have been psychologically evaluated and you are ready to start hormones." And I was kind of like, alright, because I know that this therapist has written tons of letters for trans people all over Long Island. Like, people go to her if they're not going to Cal Nord in the city. Um, so I was really confused. And also, she has sent patients there before. So I kind of was like, wait, they'll take someone else's letter, but they won't take mine. Like, what's wrong with me? And it turns out that she actually just needed the doctor's permission or something. Like, she went to go show the doctor, and the doctor said no, and it was just really confusing. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. But anyway, I was like pale in the face. I was really worried. I just came here with my friends. I was kind of like all alone. Um, I didn't know what to do, and I was kind of like, wait, so can we just do the blood work then? So then we'll get that out of the way. And she said, definitely. So what we ended up doing is she took me into a room and we did my blood work right then and there. So I actually got pricked 4 times. So I don't know if you can see in this light, but here it's a bit darker, and over you probably can't see over here. The nurse could not find my veins, so she ended up pricking me 3 times before calling a second nurse in to come and try to find my vein. Um, so I read some reviews about this place before, and I heard that there was one nurse there, the only male nurse, and he was very transphobic. And I was kind of very uncomfortable with that, and I was glad because I hadn't had any male nurses up until that point. And then when I heard the name of the nurse she was bringing in, I recognized his name, and I was freaking out internally. So I was sitting there, and I was kind of like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Um, like I don't know what to do. I know if he looks at my charts, it's gonna say my legal name. It's not gonna say the name that I'm currently getting it changed to, my preferred name. So I was kind of freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. I haven't had to deal with any of that nonsense since high school, really. Um, but he comes in and he looks at me and he says, "Hey, bud, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, like I'm good." And he reads my chart and he says, "Oh, so Skylar, right?" And I was like, "Oh, she must have like written it down somewhere." Which I guess she did, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm Skylar." So, and my legal name was right next to it, so he purposely read the one that she wrote. So it's kind of like maybe the reviews were just wrong. Maybe he had an off day. So he ended up trying to find a vein, and my arms are actually black and blue a little bit up here, like some blood vessels popped because of the blood pressure thing, the blood pressure sleeve that they put on you in order to have your veins pop out. Um, because they put it on for like 5 minutes each arm, and I could not move at all. So anyway, he's talking to me and he's like, "Have you drank any water?" And I was like, "Yeah, I drank a lot of water preparing because I know that you're supposed to drink a lot of water because I've given blood quite a few times, and I just know that it makes you feel better afterwards." And then he was like, "Have you eaten?" And this was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and my sleep schedule was completely messed up since winter break started. And I was like, "Actually, no, I haven't eaten yet. I was going to go eat after this." And he's like, "That's why. Apparently, if you don't eat or drink, your veins get entirely, completely small. And it's really hard to pierce them and get blood taken from them." And I was like, "Oh, that's good to know for next time." And I thought I'd share it with you guys, since you'll probably be having to have blood taken eventually if you're planning on going into testosterone, which not everyone is, but if you are, you know you're gonna get pricked a lot. So he ends up finding a vein first try. He takes my blood, takes 4 vials, which was like a lot. Wasn't expecting that much just for a blood test. And he was like, "All right, you're all good to go. Come back in 3 weeks." And I was kind of like, 3 weeks? I gotta wait so long just to get my results back. And I was like, you know what? It's worth it. I've waited so many years just to get to this point that, 3 weeks, not that bad. So I ended up making another appointment for 3 days after my birthday. So this appointment is in about 3 weeks. It's on February 9th. Um, so I also talked to the nurse practitioner before I left, and she said that she's going to call my therapist, tell her exactly what she needs. She wasn't rude about it at all. She was just kind of like, "This is a formality." They might have changed their policy since the last trans person went, because their review that I read from them, who went to the same therapist and was also going to the same endocrinologist, said they've been going there for 3 years. So they might have just changed their policies. So she says, "Why don't you email her and follow up?" And so I did. And I got an email today from her saying that she fixed everything, and um, I should receive a call from the endocrinologist soon. And as soon as the endocrinologist gets that paperwork, she's going to send my prescription to the pharmacy near my house, and I can start in 3 weeks. So I'll have my medicine, the testosterone, before. I just can't self inject until I go in and I see her again, make sure all my levels are normal. Because I haven't had a blood test since I was a baby, because I was adopted. So they did like a ton of blood work and shots and stuff. But since then, I really haven't needed it. I haven't had too many health issues. So I hope everything's good with that. Um, so I just want to let you know it's kind of like an endocrinologist visit gone wrong. Wasn't what I was expecting at all, but it sounds like everything's going to work itself out. So just trying to hold in there until I get my T shot. But I will let you know about that. And also, if you guys want to see how I do my shot, I can show you. I talked to the endocrinologist who's had many trans patients before, and she said that the people who inject in their butt, it's not very safe for you, and that she doesn't recommend it at all because there's a lot of nerves in there and stuff. So she recommends outer part of the thigh if you're going to self-inject. Um, so I will be taught how to do that, and I'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned.